Hello everybody, this is Giwa osaigbovo. Today I want to talk about conditions under which you can do overtaking when you are driving along a road on the curved section of that road. And also I will be talking about conditions under which when you are driving a motor vehicle on a road or on a lane, you have to make sure that you are as close as possible towards the right edge of the carriage area. And also I'll be talking about the lane, which is known as the corsia. Remember that I said in this video that the corsia is known as a lane. Now, how do we tend to define the corsia or a lane? I said the corsia is a part of the carriage area, and the carriage area is a part of the road. There's a difference between corsia, carriage area, and strada. I want you to always remember that in a road which is strada, there is a carriage area. In a road which is known as strada, there is a corsia. Corsia is talking about lane, the carriage area is the roadway, while the strada is the road. The word strada is a compulsory. When you're talking about strada, which is road, you're talking about the bacchine, you're talking about the marciapiedi, that is that part of the road where individuals are allowed to use their leg to pass. Now let us start with the issue of the lane. I said the lane is known as the corsia. The corsia is a part of the carriage area, and if we say that the corsia is a part of the carriage area, therefore the corsia is also a part of the road. Now, what is the difference between the corsia and the carriage area? When we talk about a carriage area, we are saying that part of the road where it is allowed for vehicular movement and the movement of animals. If you look at the road, there's a part of the road where we say vehicles are only allowed to ply this direction, to ply this part of the road, or animals are allowed to transit. That's the word ply part of the road. Now, I want us to know that part of the road where you see vehicles, where you drive your vehicle, either you are going or you are coming, that's what we call the carriage area. A carriage area, which is known as the roadway, can consist of at least 2 lanes. In a carriage area, there's always a lane. A carriage area can contain at least 2 lanes. Then when we talk about lanes, I'm talking about corsia. Then how do we now differentiate the corsia from the carriage area? I want us to note that when you look at the road, when you look at the pavement, that is the floor of the road, where we have the asphalt of the road, you would normally see a white line at the middle of that road. That white line at the middle of that road, then you trace it towards either to your left or to your right, until by the side of the road you also see a white line at the edge of the road. There's always a white line at the edge of the road, either at the left or at the right, and there's always a white line at the middle of the road. Now, that when you trace the white line at the middle of the road towards your left until you meet a white line at the edge, that edge is what we call margine in Italy. You can call it margine, you can call it laterally. That is how you get a lane. The white line from the middle of the road, you trace it till you see a white line at the edge of the road. That is what they call a lane. Then when you look at the middle of the road, you see a white line. When you trace that white line towards this direction until you meet or you touches the white line at the edge of the road, that's what we call the corsia. Now, a carriage area can contain at least 2 corsiae. Talk about 2 lanes. That is that. I want us to know that in a road, you can have a single carriage area. You can have more than one carriage area. Now, how do you know whether a road has a single carriage area or more than one single carriage area? If you look at the middle of the road, you normally see pillars demarcating, or you see a pillar or a tree at the middle of the road demarcating one part of the road from the other part of the road. That pillars or ions or trees planted, that what they call a group of trees planted at the middle of the road. That's what they call the sparti traffico. That word is the Italian word. Sparti traffico means traffic divider. When you have a sparti traffico on a road, that road will have two carreggiata. But when you do not have a sparti traffico on the road, that road will contain a single carreggiata. That's how we can know whether there is a single carreggiata or we have two or we have three. When you do not have a sparti traffico, that means you do not have a fence or a pillar or a group of trees at the middle of the road. We now say that road has a single carreggiata. But when you have a single sparti traffico at the middle of the road, that road is said to have two carreggiata. Then when you have two sparti traffico on a road, then that road is said to have what? To have three carreggiata. That's how you know whether a road has a single carreggiata, has two carreggiata, or has three carreggiata. It is the presence or the absence of the sparti traffico that will enable you to know whether that road has a single or more than one carreggiata. That is by the wayside. Now let us go back to what I was talking about. I was talking about the corsia or the lane. Now the corsia, I've already given you the definition of the corsia. The corsia is a part of the carreggiata that allows the movement of a single row of vehicle. Either you see the vehicle, you see the group of vehicles, they are going, or you see the group of vehicles, they are coming. It must either they are going, the group of vehicles, that we call row, a group, a fleet of vehicles, they are going or they are coming. That's what we call the corsia. Now let us look at the lunghezza, of the corsia. The corsia has minimum and maximum lunghezza. When we talk about the lunghezza, we are talking about the length, the length of the corsia. The minimum lunghezza of the corsia is said to be 2.80 meters, while the maximum lunghezza of the corsia is 4 meters. Now, the corsia is demarcated or bounded at once at the center by striscia. That striscia could either be continuous or discontinuous. Then we have the striscia di margine. That striscia di margine can either be continua or discontinua. Let me use this opportunity. To explain and differentiate what we mean by striscia di mezzeria and striscia di margine. The white line at the middle of the road is known as striscia di mezzeria. The word mezzeria is middle, or striscia di centro. The white line at the center of the road is known as the striscia. The word striscia means something that is crawling. That's what they mean by striscia. Striscia di mezzeria. Striscia di mezzeria can either be continua or discontinua. Then striscia di margine, or also known as striscia di laterale. It is the white line at the edge of the road, either at the edge of the road, either at the left or at the right. And the striscia di margine, which is also known as striscia di laterale, can also be either continua or discontinua. But in subsequent video, I will differentiate, I will expatiate on these types of striscia. We have two types of striscia. We have striscia di mezzeria, we have striscia di margine. And I said that striscia di margine is also known as striscia di laterale. Then we have types of striscia. The striscia can either be continua or discontinua. I will let you know how will you know whether the striscia di mezzeria or striscia di margine is either continua or discontinua. Then let us look further to the types of corsia. We have corsia di marcia, or what the first was corsia di ordinamenti. Number 2, we have corsia di sorpasso. Number 3, we have corsia di accelerazione. Number 4, we have corsia di decelerazione. We have corsia di emergenza. We have corsia di riservata. We have corsia di specializzata. If you look at the word specializzata, it's from the word specializzare. If you look at the word corsia di riservata, the word riservata is from the word riservare, which means to reserve. When something is meant for a particular thing or object, that's what they call. For example, if you look at the road on any part of Italy, you will see they will write the word taxi or autobus in yellow color. What that part of the road, that lane where you see this description or scripture, that means written taxi or autobus, that's what they call corsia de riservata. The corsia de riservata is that part of the road that is reserved for a particular type of vehicle. It can be taxi, it can be autobus. That is that. Take note, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 types of lane or corsia. We have corsia di marcia or corsia di ordinamenti. We have corsia di sorpasso, that is a lane that will enable you to do overtaking. We have corsia di accelerazione, that is the lane that will enable you to enter strada extra urbanum principale, or that will enable you to enter the autostrada when you are coming out from the area di servizio, Then we have what corsia di diserzione. That word diserzione is that part of the road that will enable you to exit. The corsia di accelerazione is for entry, ingresso, while the corsia di diserzione is for the uscita, that will enable you to leave the roadway that is that of a strada extra urbano principale or strada the autostrada. Then we'll talk about corsia di emergenza. When we talk about corsia di emergenza, there is a lane that you have to apply when there is sudden breakdown of the motor vehicle that you are driving, or there is discomfort. Now they use the word malessere of either the conducente, that is the driver, or the passenger, that is the passenger. When your passenger is having difficulty, it can be kind of psychological or physical, you have to enter the corsia di emergenza. That's all that. Then we'll talk about corsia di specializzata. The corsia di specializzata is that part of the lane that will enable you to perform specific maneuver. For example, it can be svuotare a destra, or pure svuotare a sinistra. The word svuotare is to turn. A destra, that is talking about a right. A sinistra is talking about left. Then let us look at other things I want to talk about. Conditions under which, if you are driving a motor vehicle on a road and you are on the part, and that part of the road that you are is a curve, there are some conditions where you can still perform overtaking. One, if that road, take note, if that road is accesso unico and you are driving on the curve section of the road, you can do overtaking. Then another condition where you can do overtaking on a curve is when that strada, that is road, has a carreggiata separate. That means when there's a specific traffic cone on the road and you are driving a motor vehicle on that section of the road, there is a curve, you can still do overtaking there, even though you are driving along the curve. The another one to talk about is if you are driving on a road and that road is a doppio senso di circolazione, and each of the senso di marcia has two lanes in each of the senso di marcia, you can do what we call overtaking. That is that. Then let us look at the conditions under which you have to, if you are driving a motor vehicle, you have to try as much as possible to be very close towards the right edge of the road. Let's look at the condition where you can do that. One, when that road is a doppio senso di circolazione and has only two lanes, one for going, one for going or for coming, then the other one is for going or for coming. Let me repeat that one again. Now, conditions under which you have to drive very close to the right edge of the motor vehicle is when, one, scarcer visibility. When there's what called scarcer visibility, if you are driving on a road and it's on the curve, for example, you are driving and that section of the road there's a curve or there's a dorsal, you try as much as possible to be very close towards the right edge of the road. Then I talked about, then number two is when such a road is a doppio senso and has only two lanes and has only two lanes, one for going and the other one for coming, and that road is a doppio senso with only two lanes, you can make sure that you have to make sure that you are extremely close towards the right edge of the motor vehicle. The another of the sorry of the road. The another conditions is when you know that a vehicle that is behind you is doing overtaking. That means the vehicle wants to overtake you. You have to shift towards the right edge of what of the road. Thank you. See you next time.